We are live.
That intro is longer than I thought. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Journey podcast. Thank you guys for being here. On behalf of producer Bert, which you cannot see, by the way, because we're having issues with one of the cameras, and it was either not record today or record like in an hour and a half, and it gets too late on the East Coast and Central Time. So you know what? It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. The way this is set up, it's we couldn't even shoot with the Mevo, so you could do that. It doesn't work. But anyway, we'll make things do. Producer Bird is here.
What's up, everybody?
And my opening act, Cisco Duran, is here.
Francisco.
Yeah. If by the way, if you want to know what Producer Bert looks like, you can type in Albert Mejia Mejia, and you can
or you
probably
can just go on my Instagram, Producer Bert
Oh, there you
42.
go.
Wait, you're
what is it?
Googleable?
What is it? Bert 42 or Producer
I
Bert?
think it's Producer Bert 42.
There you go. So go to Instagram,
What?
Producer Bert 42, if you want to see a picture of Albert, and if you want to see a picture of Cisco Duran, go to
Yes, sexy Cisco. No, CISCO Duran 305.
CISCO Duran 305 on Instagram.
Yeah, everywhere.
All right, cool. By the way, I want to thank everybody that came out to the shows this weekend in Vegas. Guys sold out the weekend. It was awesome. It was great shows at the Aliante Casino out there, about 30, 40 minutes off the strip, which is really interesting because it's in Vegas, but it kind of feels like it's not in Vegas for some reason, and that's actually kind of cool because the casino kind of is in and of itself. It's insulated. It's not too crowded. It's not a lot of craziness. There's not a lot of
It's chill.
hoopla. And yeah. It's a really chill environment. It's cool. It's very, 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 very enjoyable environment to be around. And I want to thank everybody for that. This weekend, by the way, I will be, and I think most of the shows are sold out. I think they're adding an 11:45 or 11:30 show on Saturday. At Off the Hook Comedy Club.
Saturday.
In Naples, Florida. So that's been cool. How was your weekend, Cisco?
My weekend was amazing. I was with you. Great shows.
Not really, because you disappeared into the night.
I did disappear into the night.
Yeah.
I went to go to my friend's restaurant, and he serves amazing food. And
What's the name of the restaurant?
Allegro. Yeah.
At the Win or Encore?
Oh, my bad. At the Win.
Okay, so at the Win, it's a place called Allegro. If you
Yeah.
ever go there, ask for Enzo.
Yeah, he's amazing. He hooked it up. Meal was great. It was oh my god.
Oh, that's where I'm going.
I knew that something was gonna go down when I heard, hey bro, I'm going to that restaurant. Can I have some money?
The verbiage was a little off, but yeah. It was
really? What did you say? What'd you say then?
You know what? Let's just keep it moving.
Yeah,
guys.
that's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. He's gonna go eat, and I had to give some money. It was all good, dude. It's all good. Enzo's amazing, man. The food there is amazing. If you're ever there in Milan, by the way, and even though it is it's an Italian place, chicken wings are ridiculous.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, they're awesome.
Vegas is one of those places, though, and it's really funny because when I did the bit of Mencia this week, we had some issues, so we put it out earlier today instead of yesterday. But here's the thing is that I don't drink before shows. I just don't. But Enzo came, who's a buddy, and he brought this stuff called grappa. And grappa is basically really clear wine that has a higher alcohol content because it's made from the grape leaves. So it's got this nice kick and this tart, and you have this guy that comes in, Carlos, I bring grappa, let's go, the last time, hey, the last time we were here, and then he's sweating, he's on the stage just sweating, and I'm like, because of me and the grappa, he's sweating. He's so much fun, man. He's so much fun. So I had a little bit of grappa, so I was a little more loose than normal, and I don't know that that's a good or bad thing. It just means it usually toward the end of the show I get loose. This wasn't that environment. This was an environment where I kind of went on stage going, oh man, what am I gonna do? Who gives a shit? And I started talking about Vegas, and Vegas is one of those towns that so much crazy weird shit happens there that the only way to explain it is it's fucking Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
That's the only way to. Everybody has their own verbiage, right? Welcome to Vegas. That's fucking Vegas. Hey, that's fucking Vegas. Whatever the verbiage is, that's it. First of all, normal women turn into. I don't even want to say hoes because that makes it feel like it's kind of negative. I don't want that connotation to it. It's just they just feel free to do whatever the fuck they never have done anywhere else.
It's Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
You see what I'm saying? And so I did that bit. And so what I did was I did this whole bit on how like Vegas is a place where, you get a normal guy who's got an average life and a wife and a kid and a decent house, and send him to Vegas, and 3 months later he's sucking a dick for $5. Like that is Vegas. And I know I did a bunch of material that was like that. It was brand new stuff that I just wrote that on stage at that moment, kind of pretty much. And then I did the bit that was actually on there about idiots watching the news. And Albert, for some reason, I kind of gave him the power. I said, listen to both of them. I wish he would have preferred to put on the Vegas one, because the Vegas one isn't something that I can do anywhere else but in Vegas. Whereas to the news one, I could do it again some other time. So it's kind of like, I was kind of hoping that he would say, you know what, let's just do that one. But for some reason, he chose the other. Why'd you choose the other one, bro?
I just, you know what, I actually really, really liked it.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. So
not that I didn't like the Vegas one, but I just like this one a lot more.
So there you go. Like I said, I wish it would have been the other one. But that's Vegas, and Vegas is an interesting place like that. Vegas is a place where girls at 4:00 in the morning want to go to a strip club, and they've never been to a strip club before. Vegas is a kind of place where a girl will, see somebody doing coke and say, "I've never tried it, let's do it." I mean, Vegas is that place where somebody that only drinks wine all of a sudden is taking shots of tequila. It's just that fucking place. And if you're sober, it's not I don't think Vegas is a cool place if you're sober, bro.
I disagree. It depends what part of Vegas.
Where in Vegas is it cool to be sober?
Aliante was cool to be sober.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I had a good time by the pool, chilling, relaxing.
You were drinking.
Not a lot.
Oh, stop.
I was sober-ish.
Stop.
I was sober-ish.
Stop. You see what I'm saying? Don't make up, don't come on a podcast and bullshit people, dude. Why are you trying to tell people like you're something that you're not, or it's something that it's not? Listen, I'm just saying, I've been to Vegas many, many times, and I'm telling you, when I was sober, and Albert will tell you this.
Oh, man.
I would actually sometimes charter a jet to fly me there, like 3 hours before the show, go and do the show, sign autographs, take pictures with people. Literally at the end of the show, get back in a car and go back to the airport and fly back home. Because after a certain time at night, dude, you gotta be buzzed. You gotta have drinks. It's the shit that you see. It's either because you got to be a little numb to see the shit that you see there, to see the people that are gambling their last money, to see a guy cashing his check to get some money at the cashier. I mean, to see the guy punching in the codes at the ATM, but you could tell in his eyes that he's fucking praying that money is in there, with the girl that's walking back with the guy who it's like it's almost Cosby-ish. You know what I mean? Where you could see this and you're like, oh fuck, man, this is you see all this stuff when you're sober, and it's not fun unless you go to a show and then you leave. Here's where Vegas is cool if you don't drink. Go to Vegas. And then you have an early dinner, you have an 8 o'clock show, and right after the show, you get your ass to your fucking room. Then Vegas is cool, and you leave, and you never had a drink, and you're fine, or you had your wine, and you're good. But if you stay 5 to 20 minutes past that show, and you start looking around,
It's on.
and it becomes 11 o'clock, dude, let me put it to you this way. And everybody has their way of partying there, right? So Bert's way is, this is what Bert does. Bert gets a room. He always goes with a bunch of friends. So a bunch of their friends, it's parent weekend. Fuck it. Fuck the kids. They can't come. They bring the alcohol. So they bring alcohol. They're the ones that you see if I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas, but you see people coming in, and they have like a cooler on
Ice
a fucking
chest.
roller.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's on a roller. So
Yeah, we have a few of those.
that thing is just filled with no beer, by the way, straight up fucking alcohol. And so what Bert does is, I think I don't know, what kind of alcohol do you bring, Bert?
Vodka.
All right, so there you go. I think he does like Crystal Light and vodka,
That's it.
and there you go. So he gets these big containers.
And then we do Jaeger, too. Jaeger
What about the
Monster.
containers that you walk around with?
Oh, with water, yeah.
Right.
And it's just like the big gallon things of, not big, but gallons of water, and we just put the
So they
Crystal Light in
fill
them.
Crystal Light and they fill it with alcohol.
plastic.
They make
They
sure
have
the
to be
taste.
plastic.
And then they got these plastic, and then they walk around and just pour each other drinks. So
Jesus.
they get fucked up, but they don't have to pay for any alcohol
yeah.
there. That's the way they party. That's the way they do it. Right? So Cisco's a little different. Cisco's got a little bit of money. So he's gonna buy a little cabana in the pool. Put a little cabana in the pool.
Well, it's only because they hooked it up like with a big discount.
Yeah, okay.
It was cheap.
Okay, it doesn't matter what you did. I'm saying you did it. That's a good thing. That's how you party. Everybody parties different there.
Yeah.
Everybody parties different. Here's what doesn't change. Doesn't matter whether you bring alcohol, pay alcohol, hang out with somebody for alcohol, and you're a chick, and you get to just be hot and go to clubs and they let you in. But when they tell you to go to somebody's, table or whatever it is, you go there and you're not, you might get hit on, you might not, I don't know, but you're gonna get free drinks for sure. And so, that's that party. Everybody's got their own little way to party. Here's the thing that doesn't change. If you're up at 11 o'clock and you take more than 2 drinks, you're not going to sleep till fucking 4 to 6 in the morning. That's the difference.
Vegas. It turns into Vegas.
Right?
Vegas, baby.
Why are you staring at your tits, dude?
Dude, I don't know, but I
What
looked
the
away,
fuck
bro.
is wrong with you, bro?
What happened was I felt like a pimple on my breast, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then I just
It was, and he popped it.
and I popped it.
It was a pimple?
No, it wasn't a pimple. It was just a bump.
What? Okay, when we're doing a podcast and we're paying
I'm sorry.
attention, what the fuck are you doing playing with your titties?
You were talking about Vegas.
It's Vegas, baby. I just
It got you nervous and shit?
I just got back yesterday.
You want to give a shout out to anybody this weekend that you partied with in Vegas?
Enzo, thank you so much. John,
Okay.
thank you. Everybody was cool to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, by the way, and if anybody needs weight loss or testosterone or any kind of wellness in that behalf, John, why don't you give a plug, dude? He's giving you so much free stuff. Give his clinic a plug, bro.
Listen, I was 550 pounds one point in my life. I added over 200 pounds. Thank you to my buddy John. It's
John Kinney.
John Kinney. It's Med what? Do you remember the name? Oh, well, John Kinney.
Wow, really,
I
dude?
forgot. It's Med something.
Both of you guys have gotten thousands of dollars worth of treatment, lost so much weight.
Johnny, if you're watching this, I apologize. Just text me.
Wow. Why don't you Google it, bro?
Yeah, you know what? I'll Google it, and then I'll come back and do a commercial for them.
Wow. Wow. And by the way, John, I'm going to make them sweat it because they should know the fucking thing. And for me to yell it out right now would be like getting them off the hook. We need them to do this, just so you know. Yeah, to all our buddies over there, and to the twins, man. I really wanted to go to South Point on Friday and see you guys out, but things came up, and I just wasn't in a place to go do that. So to the Smash Brothers, man, shout out to you guys. Apologize I couldn't get out to that dirty show at South Point on Friday night. For everybody else, thank you guys for hanging out, partying. So listen, here's one I didn't want to talk about that, but it is. Does anybody have a Vegas story you want to tell?
Mine was a long time ago.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well,
Your favorite Vegas story?
My favorite Vegas story was it was my first time in Vegas. I got a room at the Aria because like we know friends over there and stuff, and it was my birthday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Birthday.
And
Did you really put an F in that shit?
Of course, dude.
Jesus
you
fucking
gotta get a little
Christ.
ghetto with it, man.
Ugh,
That's not ghetto.
that's just stupid. My birthday.
My birthday.
There's certain words that you do, dude, that like, ugh, like I'm like, ugh.
By the way, shouts out to John Kinney, Trim Body, MD. Appreciate you. Mad love.
You finally got it. Okay.
Yes.
Anybody out there in Vegas, Trim Body MD is the place to go if you need any kind of wellness, or just go check out the things that they do. Hey, tell them that Carlos Mencia sent you for real, and they'll give you a discount. It's not even a joke. And I'm just telling you, let me put it to you this way. It's a great place to go. It's a wellness place, man. Go check it out. If you got a little extra money and you want to look great, or you're not feeling completely well, they'll do your blood work, let you know what's going on, give you your accounts, let you know how you can feel better, and put you on a regimen that's going to make you feel fucking amazing, all right? So go check that out, and tell them I was sent by Carlos Mencia, and to let John Kinney know. So there you go.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Shout out to Nuno from Australia.
Oh, nice.
Australia.
What up, Nuno in Australia? Hey, mate.
Hey, mate.
Hey, mate.
Putting shrimp on the barbie.
Oh my God!
Gabna.
Oh my God!
Is that the right
This is
one?
the best. This is the best. By the way, no. Cisco is the fucking worst at accents. I have tried so fucking hard. I've tried to tell this, hey mate, hey, you got to do these accents. It makes the story better. Right? This is what he would do. He'll do a joke and go, man. Me and Carlos were doing a show in Australia, and this Australian guy, he was like, hey, you guys want to go on a jet ski? And I'm like, was this Australian from America? Like, what part
of America is
what
Australia?
part of America was fucking this dude from? And so I'll be like, listen, and what I'll do is I'll try to do like a crazy over the top, like, oh mate, I've never met anyone like this guy's amazing, mate. He's right. So I say something like that to him, so I'll be like,
hey, Snake. Or is that good? That wasn't good.
Damn,
Right,
look at that. Amanda, she said she
oh
said she said it was so funny that she was in physical pain driving back 12 hours after your show.
all right, mate, listen, mate.
That's a dangerous alligator.
That's the most dangerous animal on the planet. Right?
I just feel like
you do it. Say that. Watch. This is the most dangerous animal on the planet.
This is the most dangerous. What do I sound like, dude? I don't even know.
Okay, no. So this is what I gotta deal with. I try to teach these guys. Like, okay, so watch this. Okay, so this is this is a Middle Eastern guy. Okay, it's a Middle Eastern guy. Listen, my friend, I know you are asking me where ATM is. It's not that I don't want to tell you. I am telling you the ATM was around the corner yesterday. Then bomb blew shit up. It flew away. We don't know where the fuck it is today. You understand? I'm not trying to not help you. I'm just telling you, even we don't know where the goddamn ATM is. Okay? So, all right, go ahead.
I feel like that was way too long for me.
No, just do any part of
Just
that.
say ATM.
Just say just do any part of it.
Listen, my friend.
That's free.
The ATM, what is that way?
It's actually not that bad.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Right. I could do black for sure.
What kind of black?
Yo, motherfucker, what's up? Yeah, that was really good. That was good, guys.
Nah, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't feeling like, yeah, motherfucker, some man.
Yeah, I touch my dick sometimes.
Okay. All right, you know what? There is one accent that he can do pretty well. So let's go to his go-to, and then we'll move on. Just do your Cuban.
My Cuban. Oye, que bola hacer, que la cosa, eh?
First of all, you're speaking Spanish. Nobody fucking understands that.
Okay, you go over there. This is fucking, I feel weird doing it right
You
now.
can't even do the English version of a Cuban accent?
I can, and you see me do it. It's just, I don't know, it's not coming out right now.
How about I talk to you like if you were from, hey, I'm gonna call you a different name. Hey, Lorenzo. So you got here from Cuba 20 years ago. Where do you live, bro?
My friend, I live in Miami.
He sounded like the Middle Eastern guy's son. What the fuck was that?
He was looking for the ATM.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. By the way, to Amanda, 12-hour ride home. Thank you so much. So go ahead, continue your story. Your story from you're staying at the Aria.
Oh, so 3 years ago, staying at the Aria,
Uh-huh.
and it's my birthday. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it big for my birthday. And then a friend of mine gave me a Molly, and I was in the Aria. When you walk in, the shades just open up, right, like automatically. And I walked in
your room.
in my room, and I walked in, shades open up, and it was fireworks going on, and I was so high that I thought that they were making the fireworks for me because it was my birthday.
Oh, that is so
awesome.
awesome.
So I wrote a letter to the Aria thanking them for remembering my birthday.
Did you do that at that moment, or did you do it the next day?
No, I did it at that moment. I wrote like literally those little papers they leave in the room with the pen.
Right.
I wrote 2 of those papers, just
Right.
thanking them how amazing their service was to me.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
fucking
I was like, thank you
fireworks
for
show.
the fireworks.
Were you alone?
I was not alone, but I don't want to talk about her.
Okay.
And then I said the only thing that would have made this night perfect was a piece of cake, and you guys failed on that.
Oh,
That
that was your
I swear
coolest
to God.
story.
That's what happened. It's one of the cool stories. That it's not the craziest story, but it's one of the cool
I
stories.
think, God, let me think of, well, I think my favorite story is way back in the day.
Chris Fonseca just said he could do accents better. That's hysterical.
Well, you tell
Okay,
Chris
wait a minute,
Fonseca.
wait a minute.
You tell him.
Wait a
I
minute,
could
wait a
roll-
minute, wait a minute. That's not for you people that don't know. Chris Fonseca is one of
what's
the
up, Chris?
funniest, one of the funniest people you ever see. Chris has cerebral palsy, and God, I first met Chris way back in the day. I think in '92, maybe '93, when I did a show for HBO called Loco Slam, and I kind of want to do an impression of him, but I want you to do an impression of him first.
It's gonna be.
Now, Chris,
Oh man.
Chris, don't get offended. And by the way, I know
not-
Chris is not going to get
Chris is not
offended.
gonna get offended.
That's not what I meant. I meant everybody else. We're doing an impression of Chris Fonseca, who actually has cerebral palsy.
And he's a friend of ours.
Yeah, and so don't be calling and saying that we're trying to make fun of fucking people with disabilities, all right? And if you're one of those people that even thinks we're capable of that shit, turn this off, and I don't even want you as a fucking fan. Because you're not people I want hanging out with. You're not the You Ain't Laughing and Living people. You're just not that. You're just not fucking that. By the way, nothing in the goddamn world prepares you for seeing somebody with cerebral palsy get fucking drunk. Nothing prepares you to see some shit like that.
Yeah.
But you've seen him perform. He's performed with us before.
He's funny as shit.
Yeah. So do your impression of, say, this morning I woke up and my dick was orange, and then I remembered last night I was eating Cheetos. That's the joke.
All right.
Go
ready?
ahead, do it, and just do the whole thing. No matter how much we laugh, just go through it.
Last night, I went to sleep and I woke up and my dick was orange, but I realized I ate Cheetos. That was horrible.
It started off kind of good, and then it felt like you had to take a shit. What happened there?
You know what, dude?
The last night part was good. Do it again. Do the
last
night I was eating Cheetos. Like that was good, dude. But then you went, and then I remembered I had Cheetos last night.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Last night, I went to sleep. And
No, listen. I woke up this morning
All right.
and my dick was orange, and then I remembered last night I was eating Cheetos.
There we go. All right. One more time.
By the way, I'm sorry we're fucking up the joke that you tell so beautifully well, bro. Now you know how we're.
I feel like I can't
don't
do it.
I feel like I'm in. Like I can't even fucking. Whatever. Go ahead.
This morning. Fuck, I can't do it, dude.
How about you do it with a fucking Australian accent?
Hey,
Hey, mate.
hey, mate.
I woke up this morning and my dick was orange.
Yo, it's so
And then I
good.
remembered last night I was eating Cheetos. I love you, bro. I love you,
Yeah,
man.
so many people are supporting me right now. You could do better, Cisco. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. This guy, one guy said DTD, fuck you. I'm not even gonna say that guy's
Oh,
name.
that's fucking
I don't
awesome.
appreciate these guys.
That's awesome. So mine was way back in the day. I was a young punk, and I was performing at the Riviera. And first of all, I'll never forget. First of all, thanks to Steve Sharippa. And many of you know Steve is an actor. He's been on so much stuff. Probably, well, maybe one of the biggest, The Sopranos. Toward the end there, he was the driver. I forget the name of his character, but he was a guy that talked like this, and he's fucking always so good to me. He fucking busted it. Remember how much he busted everybody's balls, Bert?
Yep.
He would fuck with comics so hard, but he was really fucking good to me. And I was an edgy ass comic who, you know, if I don't know that I was grateful enough. I mean, I was grateful on the inside. I don't know that I showed it because I was just trying to be cocky. But with him, man, there was no wall. He was just fucking great. And first thing, I'll never forget when they gave me a little badge, and I walked. When I get to the Riviera, there's an envelope, and they go, "This is your badge. This is, you know, there's a food court downstairs for the employees. So for this week, you're an employee. You just run this bag, and you could go in there at any time and eat anything you want. So there's food there, like there's a buffet set up, 24 hours." And I got this little badge that I can just go and eat. And I remember feeling like I felt like I was goddamn Richard Pryor, that I could go down there and hang out with the fucking people that work there. It was so amazing. The feeling was so great. And I know that it sounds like cheesy and like, because, dude, we go to Enzo's and hang out now. Dude, I've walked into clubs now. And, you know, look, when you're hot and you have a TV show, you know, and you go through moods, right? And then certain times somebody will recognize you and they're huge fans. And, you know, I've walked into a place and they're like, Carlos Mencia. They still do that. But, like, you know, I mean, and then all of a sudden there's like half-naked girls coming up with bottles and fucking fireworks and the whole sparkler shit. I mean, but of all the stuff, man, of all the things, I think that to me is like my favorite fucking moment. Is just, and it wasn't that it was the first moment was awesome, right? Because I walk in there and there's like this great fucking buffet and it's free, and I'm like, what? I could fucking do this for free. And then when they let me know that it was open 24 hours and I could go 24 hours, dude. That to me is my probably favorite moment. I know that there's other ones that are crazier and they probably sound like, you know, better and all that cool stuff, but for me, man, that was my favorite.
Your favorite is a buffet story.
No, it's not the buffet.
I just feel like this story should have been reversed.
I felt like I made it. You know what I mean? It made me feel like I was somebody. It made me feel like, you know, when you first start doing comedy, for you people that don't know, we don't get paid. You're just doing fucking amateur nights, and you hope that they'll give you gas money sometimes. And when you start getting funny, you can ask for $20. But dude, Bert will tell you, we used to drive down to the Comedy Store, and while I was on stage, I would ask people for money to get back to Los Angeles to, you know, for gas money, and they would give me money, like, because we weren't getting paid because it was for free. I mean, this is. And you know, people tell you that you're funny, but a fuckload of people don't think you're funny. And, you know, and a lot of people tell you, especially, look, everybody's, well, not everybody.
Yeah, the Comedy Store.
I was a hack when I first started, you know. I didn't know what comedy was. I mean, this is just the way it is for the majority of us. Some people have a fucking talent that, you know, I'm sure that they stepped on stage and they were their own fucking comedian. I wasn't, man. I didn't know what any of this shit was about. I was lucky to be there, and to be in Vegas at the Riviera, which at the time I think was like the oldest casino. So instead of looking at it from a perspective of like, wow, can you believe I'm at the shitty casino? I was like, I'm at the fucking oldest casino, and there's this Italian dude in fucking shrimp, and he likes me, and he gave me a badge, and it was about that feeling, dude. It still tickles me. It still fucking tickles me to this day. That's mine. What's yours, Bert?
Fuck. I don't know. Maybe
you know what I do like?
Was it the last time when you woke up it was still fucked up, Bert? And you don't remember shit that happened the night before?
Oh, there's been a lot of those, but
yeah, me too.
No, yeah, I roofied myself. I think that was the best.
That was the one I was talking about.
Because I had those. We had those fucking what are they called? Morichan or whatever. Cherries?
Marciano cherries.
Marciano cherries, whatever.
Marciano cherries.
You got it.
Yeah.
We had those, and they were in moonshine.
They were dipped in moonshine.
And we had a whole bottle, so we go back to my room, and before we go to dinner.
I already know how this ends.
Dude, so
I've been there before.
I don't even know how many I ate, and I'm still drinking, and then we went to go eat.
Yeah.
At Dick's Resort or whatever it was. And I remember getting there.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
I don't remember. They said I ate. I don't remember eating. I don't remember going back to the hotel.
Right.
Dude, I fell asleep. It was probably about 11 o'clock, I guess. I fucking passed out. My wife was pissed, dude. But the good thing is I didn't remember anything.
That's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I do like about Vegas is that everybody thinks I'm their good luck charm, so they give me money to gamble for them.
Oh, that's nice.
Sweet. Yeah, one dude gave me like $200.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was like,
wow.
just play it all at once, and then like we doubled up, and then
you lost like an idiot.
No, and then he gave me the other half, and then I doubled up that money, and I was like, yo, I just came out with $400.
Why the fuck did you ask me for money for dinner, dickface?
It wasn't this time though.
Good one. I mean, I'm not talking about this.
What a
It wasn't this
fucking
trip. It wasn't this
asshole.
trip. This trip was no luck.
Oh, you're a dick, dude. What a fucking
Actually, I
dick.
didn't even gamble this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Like Ned, you know I gamble.
No, I know you
every
do.
goddamn casino.
Yeah. So you didn't do it this time?
I did not play at all.
Wow.
I did not play.
Yeah,
at all.
I don't gamble.
Wow. Hey, listen, I know that the hour is getting closer to, but there's a couple things I got to talk about. So, first off, time gives you a perspective that nothing else gives you. Human experience allows you to see things from vantage points that you never see. Jokes that I told 20 years ago, I could still tell today. But if the same thing happened today, I would have a different view on it. It's just maturity, time. It either makes you better or it makes you fucking worse. And Barbara Bush just died. And I just wanted to say something nice about her because I remember, as a comedian, we would all call her the Quick Roads lady. She was a woman that we made jokes about because she looked old in the early 90s or late 80s. I'm not sure when her husband, the first Bush, it was, I think, 88 to 92. So 88 through 92, she was the first lady of the United States of America, and she looked like really old. I mean, for us to call her the Quaker Oats lady back then, and she lived another almost 30 years from that time. But you know what? She was one of the classiest people. She never fucked up. She never made mistakes. She never did anything stupid. She's one of those people that raised a bunch of kids and ended up, I mean, think about it. The Bushes were presidents or vice presidents of this country for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, around 20 years or something like that, right? Or what is it? The dad was vice president for 2 terms. That's 8 years. Then he was president for 1 year. And then his son was president for 2. So that's 20 years of Bushes in the White House. And this isn't talking. this isn't even talking about Jeb or any of the other ones. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give a big shout out to her. That it's it must have been difficult to take all the shit that she took, and to be above the fray about it, even at the end of her life, where not too long ago her husband was accused of groping women and taking pictures and grabbing their asses. She had a class, man. And hey, Barbara, thank you so much for being the classy American woman that you were, and being the first lady that you were, and having the kids that you did. And you made America a better place for all of us to live, whether people want to like that or not, whether they liked your husband and your son and the way they led. It was an honor to be alive, to know that somebody like you existed at the same time I did. I just wanted to say that. I didn't want to throw a joke in there. I just, sometimes in this podcast, it gives me the opportunity to be something that I can't be all the time when I'm on stage, when I have to be funny. Okay, now let's get to
she looked old as shit,
this,
though.
right? Even back then, bro. We used to call her the Quaker Oats lady, bro. Dude. Even back then. And that was 30 years ago, dude.
How many kids does she have?
I don't know how many kids she had, but Jeb is her son.
Yeah.
And George is her son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So I don't know if you guys all heard the incident. So let me set it up. This is, from what I understand, how it went down. 2 black guys walk into a Starbucks. They sit down. They don't buy anything. I don't know how long they were there before the manager came and said, you have to buy something or you can't be inside of Starbucks. They said to her that they were going to buy something, but they were waiting for a friend of theirs to show up. The manager, I guess, called the police. The police then came and told them 3 times to leave. The video's out there. You can see it. And they pretty much let them know, if you don't leave right now, we're going to arrest you. And they ended up getting arrested as the friend who they were waiting for, I think, showed up.
Yeah.
That's kind of when all the shit went down. That's how it went down. All right. Here's my perspective on it. And then I want to ask these guys. First, yes, for you people that don't know what we mean, people of color, when we say that there's still racism, that it's not overt anymore, that it's not fuck you, you spick, you nigger. It's not that anymore. It's shit that people don't even know exists inside of them. And this is why I think this story is really, really, really important to talk about, because I think that implicit bias, which is very subtle, it's not that evil subtle, because, I would say in the 80s, when I was growing up in the 90s, there was subtle racism where there were people that were racist, but they were fucking hiding it, and they would pretend to be nice to you, but they were fucking, they were, like, here's an example. I'll never forget why I stopped going to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a while. I was performing with Bobby Lee, right, Korean. He was my opening act. We performed at the Tulsa Comedy Club, and across the street there was a restaurant. We went to go eat at that restaurant, and the cop drives by, sees us, busts a U-turn, parks, comes into the restaurant, and comes up to us, looks at Bobby, and goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" And I just went like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude?" That guy said it in the nicest way. He didn't say it in a shitty way. He didn't say it like, "Hey, motherfucker, get out of here." It sounded like, "Hey, you look different. You're not from here." But fucking, I cringed when I fucking heard it. That kind of racism I've seen before, but that's not what we were talking about. We, people of color, are talking about the kind of racism that sees 2 white guys coming in and knows they're probably here to meet somebody, and just let it go. Not even think about it. And see 2 black guys and immediately go, these fucking black dudes, not even niggers, not even fucking that. Oh, these fucking guys ain't gonna buy shit. They just come in here to talk or whatever it is. That kind of racism is the kind of racism that's a little bit harder to get rid of, because you need to wake up to the fact that this happened. Because I know for a fact that a lot of you people listening right now who are not racist people saw this. And well, I know for a fact because I listen to Michael Smerconish. And by the way, shout outs to Michael. You wake me up in the morning and you're on when I'm taking my kid to school. Even my son Lucas is like, "Are we gonna listen to Smirkanish again, Dad?" So you and I love the show. You educate you educate my son to stuff that I wouldn't bring it up, but you bring it up, and we have great conversations with my 11-year-old son about things that are on the show. And so he's on POTUS. I think it's channel, let me see, 116, like 124, 122, 124. Anyway, it's POTUS, POTUS, in the morning, Michael Smarkanish. He's also on CNN on the weekends. Anyway, he did a poll, and of the people that listen to his show, 22% blamed the guys, 22% blamed the cops, and 55% or so blamed the manager, all right, for calling the cops in the first place. To those people that are blaming, like, you know, well, if they told you to buy something and you didn't buy something, why didn't you fucking leave? Well, I think that what happened was the minute that lady said you got to buy something, those black guys, as I have been in a fuckload of these places, Starbucks specifically, where I see people that are just on their computer chilling out, nothing next to them. Maybe they bought something fucking 3 hours ago and it's not there. But I'm just telling you, I've seen it. I've been there long enough at times to see people walk in, sit down, and then leave and not order shit. And so we know for a fact that was a moment of like, hey, you're black. You guys aren't going to buy shit, so prove to me that you're not those black guys and go buy shit. And they probably at that moment went, no, fuck you, we're going to wait for our friends, and you're doing it because I'm black, and we know it. And they made it to prove a point, and then they ended up getting arrested to prove a point. At first, I kind of was like, well, why didn't you guys just fucking order shit? But you know what? I'm glad that they did it, because this conversation would not have occurred had those guys actually went up and bought something. I think that they wanted to prove a point. They did prove a point. Point proven, point taken, and now let's talk about it. Did they really need to call the fucking cops? No. Once the cops came and they told them to leave, that gets a little sticky because they can't just leave. So for you people that are like, why didn't the cops just fucking leave? Well, here's what happens. If the cops are called to a situation like that, and they don't tell these guys to leave, and then they don't make them leave, and then those guys do something crazy afterwards when the cops leave, America will go ape shit, and they know it, and their responsibility at that point is to make sure that these people are gone from the premises. I believe they have the right to refuse service to anyone. If you want to blame the black guys for it, I don't see that there's blame in it as much as this. These black guys, in my opinion, wanted to prove a point, and I think they fucking did. And if I'm not mistaken now, in reaction to this, if I heard correctly today, Starbucks is going to close like thousands of stores to
8,000.
teach
All of them.
8,000, basically all their stores, to teach them how to deal with this in a more appropriate manner. I think that those are all the angles that I have. I was going to say yesterday I was kind of feeling like, hey, maybe you should have just fucking gone. You should have just bought the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because listen, here's where I come from. I'm a comedian, and people talk during shows, especially people that get a little drunk and they don't understand that what we do is an art, and they think we're actually having a conversation with them, even though sometimes, and thank God that fucking Cisco learned this lesson recently, because I've been telling Cisco pretty much the past 6 months, dude, you got to stop talking to the audience, especially on late shows when they're a little drunk, because you talk to them and ask them questions, and then if they feel like it's okay to fucking answer rhetorical questions that they're not supposed to be answering in the first place, and when you talk to them, you fucking put them in a frame of mind where they want to do this. And he was like, nah, dude, it's not like that. Well, we have a buddy who opens sometimes for both of us, and our buddy, he went on stage and he did just 10 minutes of straight, no material, just talking to the audience. And then Cisco went on stage and they wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at Cisco and I was like, now you know what the fuck I feel like, bro. This is what you do on a certain level to me. How did that? Not how did that feel, but what was it like to go on stage and have a crowd that you're like, why the fuck is this audience in this frame of mind when they should be in a frame of mind to listen to me and hear my shit and just sit down and laugh instead of feeling like they need to fucking talk?
It's not like you're taking a bullet, but it's just like I feel like you're starting backwards, like where they're just sitting down, they're trying to, order their drinks and stuff like that, and it's just it's a little bit more complicated. At that point, it just feels like a town hall meeting where everybody feels they could talk and they don't care, that we actually put time into what we do in our craft.
Basically, you felt like he didn't do his job in setting you up, to have a better audience.
Yeah, true.
That's exactly it. So my point of bringing this up is, I've had people that talk, and I'll say something, and then incorporate them into the act, and then usually I'll like, and by the way, for you people that haven't seen me perform in 10 years, I know. I was a different comedian back then. Well, I'll still like, every once in a while, if you push me too far, kind of give you the like, listen, you need to shut the fuck up, but I haven't done that in I don't know how many years. I know how to deal with this in a much better way than I used to before. But nevertheless, there was a person who didn't stop talking, and they just kept talking to the point where they weren't annoying me, but they were annoying the people around them. And I had to call the cops and say, dude, call the cops. Get rid of them. They don't want to leave. And the cops came, and they had to escort them out. And I felt horrible that we had to do that. But at a certain point, when you're fucking with my audience, it's past me. I can't help you out. So I know what it's like to have to call the police on somebody because they're doing some shit that you kind of find is hurting the business. And that's what I felt like. You're fucking up the show. Now that's my business, and those are my fans. You need to fucking leave. I'm not going to go. Well, let's call the fucking cops. And they came and escorted him. I get that. But I just, I feel like what's important about this story is the initial thought that I fucking guarantee you that if this manager was asked, did you do it because they were black? The answer would have been no. But take a little bit of fucking time, people, especially you people that are not of color, to just see shit from our perspective that we see all the time and kind of put it into a perspective and feel it. You know what I mean? Feel that moment. If it's ever in you to go, wait a minute, am I thinking this because I feel this way about people or because I feel that way about you people? And that's what this moment was about for me. Now, Cisco, you had a lot of shit that you wanted to say about this.
It's not a lot of shit that I wanted to say. It's just I feel like it was a bunch of bad decisions that led up to where it went. I feel like I used to be a manager. Like I know, like not at a coffee shop, but there's exceptions. Like I feel like my personal opinion is I think that the manager was racist, low key, right?
Here's the thing. All right, so here's the thing. I don't think that people like the manager, and there's some of you that listen to this podcast, I don't think you're racist because I don't think that you even know that you're feeling this way. I don't think that you think black people are not normal or Latinos are not this. I just think that throughout time, we've heard things, right? Like, I don't know if you guys back in the day, and still a little bit, black people don't tip, right? Now, we perform at comedy clubs all the time where they have, what they call urban nights. And there have been times where waiters and waitresses say, I'm not going to perform there because black people don't tip. Now, I would venture to say that 50% or more of black people, even at those shows, I know they tip. So it's not even the majority that creates this fucking thing in your head. But as you hear that enough, right? You hear it enough. black people don't tip, black people don't tip, black people don't tip, black people don't tip, that you begin to truly just, it becomes a part of your psyche without you knowing it. And then one day you get a job and you don't get tipped by a black person or a Latino or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it sticks. And here's the thing. You forget about all the other black people that did fucking tip.
Yeah.
You just put it on that fucking one right there because it's reinforcing some shit that you thought. So personally, and remember where you were, I don't think that those people, nor I do think that you're racist. That's why if I thought you were racist, I wouldn't even want to do this fucking I wouldn't even want to do this topic right now, because if you're fucking racist, what am I really going to reach you? I mean, there is this one black dude, I don't know what show I saw it on, that he actually really wants to talk to people that he thinks are racist, and he hangs out with them and he converts them and he changes them. I don't know that I have that kind of fucking patience with you people, but I don't know that they're overtly racist, nor that they think niggers. I don't think that manager was, oh, these fucking niggers. I really don't. I thought that manager was, oh God, these black people are not gonna buy shit. And I don't know that is like overtly racist, but you thought they're racist. You think that's racism?
When I say low key racist, I mean exactly what you explained. Where it's not full fledged. It's just something happened in their life that ended that way.
Right.
But
to me, it's subconscious, which makes it tolerable because it's changeable. Because you're not literally saying, "Hey, fuck you, you're like this," because all your people are like this. It's like, oh shit, I don't do that to other people as much as I do to those people, or whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, dude, bro, I think it was a bunch of bad decisions, man. It was a bad decisions on the manager. It was a bad decision on those kids.
I don't think it was a bad decision on their part, because I think that this is what they want. This is what they wanted. This is what they wanted.
But I disagree, though. Like, what?
So how could they have gotten? How could they have gotten Carlos Mencia?
Okay, really?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
How could they have gotten Carlos Mencia to do part of a podcast on their story had they walked up? And when the manager said, "Hey, you guys need to buy something," and they said, "Yeah, no problem. We're waiting for a friend, but we're gonna go buy it," and they went and bought it. How would we have ever known this, and how would this be part of the show? Because that's what they wanted. This is what they wanted.
Because this is the issue. We don't really know if that manager is racist or not. That's number one. Number two.
Oh yeah, you do.
No, we don't really know.
Yeah,
now,
you do.
My assumption is that the manager's racist. That's my assumption, but we don't know for sure. Nobody knows for sure if that person's racist. It could be something bad that happened that they're like, you know what? Like, I've seen a situation before, or fucking people just sitting in a fucking in a coffee shop and they start shooting. You don't know what that person might have gone through.
Yeah, but that's still implicit racism, because I saw black people shoot some shit up, so you black motherfuckers are gonna shoot this shit up.
It's not necessarily just black people. Just two people sitting not ordering anything is suspicious. And the policy for Starbucks is, if you have to buy, if that's the policy, because I don't know that for sure.
I don't know that that's the policy.
But
I
if
know
it's
that
the policy, that manager was doing his job.
I don't know that that's a policy, because I know that I said, I've been to many Starbucks and seen people hanging out there not fucking drinking anything.
Well, I've never seen black people just chill at a Starbucks. By the way, never. Like, I've always seen them come in and out.
Yeah, because they tell them to fucking buy shit and get the fuck out.
But
of course they don't go to a place where they don't feel fucking welcome.
But
dude, listen.
I just feel like everybody made a bad decision.
I don't think that they did, though. I really don't. I thought like you yesterday. Even Bert will tell you. I was kind of thinking like, why would you guys do this? But think about it. These guys at one point, they were like, no, you're going to have to arrest us, because they knew that it would prove a point. But would Starbucks be closing 8,000 Starbucks down to teach people how to behave in situations like that? If
that's
it
Starbucks,
were not.
That's Starbucks saving face. But why
do they have to save face?
They're saving face because this became a huge deal.
Exactly. And that's my point.
But what's the difference between this situation
Mm-hmm.
and loitering in front of a Publix? What's the difference? Like, if I was,
here's the difference.
If somebody came up to me,
here's the difference.
No, because I know
you
that I'm
asked
black
me
now.
what the difference
Wait,
is.
If somebody came up to me, if I was in their situation, they came up to me and was like, "Yo, hey, listen, unfortunately, you have to buy something to stay here," and I'm like, "Oh man, I understand. I'm just waiting for my friend. You know what? I'm gonna drink real quick and wait for and when we come, we're gonna order more."
Right.
That's how I would handle it. I wouldn't take it as racism. They took it as racism.
Right.
So they don't know for sure if the manager was being racist or not. We don't know the context of
Do
that
you really?
conversation.
Do you really think that two black guys who heard the words come out of that manager's mouth, you don't take them for their word as African Americans who've lived in this country?
First of all, I don't take anybody's word for anything. I need the facts. I need to know what was said. I need to know.
Well, you know what the facts are.
How it was. No, we don't know what was like. How that manager approached them. Because that.
Do you really
that
think,
interaction with the manager and the two kids really makes a fucking difference? Because
I agree.
I've been on that end of racism before.
I agree, bro. But you really think that manager was really nice to them and they were willing to fucking get arrested for it?
I don't. You know what?
They were remember, whatever happened made them want to get arrested.
I've been in that situation where it's, the manager was a dick on the first attempt. I've been in a situation where the manager wasn't a dick on the first attempt, and then 3 attempts later, then he became a dick. I just need to know how it went down before I could actually make a judgment on whose fault it is. Now, my personal opinion is the manager went up and was like, hey, you guys can't stay here. You guys got to buy something. If you're not going to buy something, leave. And they're like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I'm going to stay as long as I need. This is a free country. Do whatever the fuck I want. That's what I think might have went down.
No. What happened was they told her, we're waiting for our friend. We're going to order when our friend gets here.
Yeah, and then when she walked away, and the friend still wasn't there, and then she came back again and bothered them, they were like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. We're gonna wait as long as it takes.
That's not what happened.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm telling you what the story is.
That could have been their mentality.
Their mentality was
like, yo, we're staying here to prove a point.
Yeah, but they were actually waiting for a friend who did show up.
So my question is, how did they know if she was really racist or not?
How do you know?
How did those kids know?
How do you know you're at a gay barbecue?
The hot dog tastes like shit. How did they know?
How did they know?
They
like,
know.
What did they say?
They know because of their tone. You know what? As a person of color, I give them the benefit of the doubt.
But that's
because,
not fair.
Yes, it is.
No,
Because
that's not fair.
Because they're black. They've been this isn't the first
because
time that
they've
shit
been
happened
fucked
to
over.
them.
That's cool. I totally understand that.
Because they've had.
But if
if
Starbucks
you told
policy
me,
is,
but wait,
they need to order something, then you need to order something.
I get it. So
You're
you
gonna
wanted
sit
to know
down
the
at a
difference.
restaurant
You wanted
and
to
not
know the
order
difference. Here's the difference. So you know. The difference is this. If you're loitering in front of a Publix, you ain't buying shit. These guys actually said, we are going to buy something.
I could stand in front of Publix and say I'm going to buy something.
Waiting for our friend.
Yeah, I could do the same thing outside of
The
Publix.
difference is their friend actually showed up. So they were not lying. They were not bullshitting. They were not loitering.
Perfect.
They were literally waiting for a friend. And
but
there was
technically speaking, if that's their policy, they broke their policy.
No, because, okay, here's an example. When you go to comedy clubs, right, they tell you the show's going to be an hour and a half long. And there's a 2-item minimum. There's nothing that says at what point during the show you have to purchase those. So you can actually say to a waiter or waitress, hey, by the way, our friend is late. When our friend gets here, we're going to order. And then 5 minutes before the show goes, hey, we're going to order our 6 drinks for me and our friends. They didn't break any rules yet. They hadn't broken any rules until the friend didn't show up.
Okay, but see, these examples don't make sense in this situation, though.
How doesn't it?
All right. This is what all right, you're saying comedy club, 5 minutes. I totally understand that. But they made it clear from the beginning, the policy is 2 drink minimum. And they do it, and they have to do it regardless.
Correct.
Now, in this situation, they came up to him and said, hey, our policy is that you need to order something. They depend.
Right.
I don't know how.
And they said we're gonna order when our friend comes.
Order, but how do they know for sure that's gonna happen? How long were they sitting there? Like it's just
their friend showed up, dude.
He showed up, but how long until that?
Okay, let's do it the opposite.
Happened?
Okay, let's work the opposite then. And you know where this is going because you already know. So let's do the opposite. Have you ever been to a Starbucks for a really long time?
I don't go to Starbucks. I don't drink coffee.
Okay, so I have. Do you know how many times somebody goes into Starbucks at about 10 o'clock in the morning, buys a coffee, brings out their computer, and writes a TV show until 2 o'clock and only have bought 1 coffee?
I'm sure a bunch.
Okay, so if you can buy a cup of coffee and stay there for 4 hours, why can't you stay there for 4 hours and then buy a cup of coffee?
Because at the end of the day, they don't know if you're going to purchase that cup of coffee or not.
But until you try to leave, you haven't not bought the cup of coffee.
I get it. I understand your point. But again, like I said, I think everybody made a mistake here, bro.
I don't think they made a mistake because we're talking about it. I think that this is what they wanted. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that they... I think that they knew as soon as she said, I'm going to call the cops, like, fuck it, this is going to be a thing. I mean, it was to the point where all the white people do. Have you seen the video?
No.
Oh, you got to see the video, dude.
I just saw the video of them getting arrested.
Ask Bert about it. He saw the video. It was so uncomfortable that Bert was pissed yesterday.
Oh, wow.
How do you feel about what he's saying, Bert?
All I saw was the kids getting arrested. That's all I saw.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Bert.
No, you know what? I do think that there was some type of racial
component.
Yes, to it.
Yes.
But do you know for sure?
Yes.
Well, there was
You can't
yes
say
because
yes.
well, there was other people doing the same thing that were white, and
in the video you could see other people
and
not having drinks on their table.
I'm sure there was. There's people that go to Starbucks all the time. Like this one person is just, they're a real estate, they're an agent, and they go into Starbucks all the time, never buy anything.
Yeah.
And they just sit there and have conversations. Carlos, said this.
Right.
He doesn't buy anything. He's never ever had anybody tell him they need to buy something.
My personal opinion is if you have a rule, it should be across the board. Like whether you're white, black, Indian, Hispanic.
That's not the case.
Rule
bro.
is
that's not the case.
No, I'm just saying because everything like in life, as long as everything's clear and
that was the point of these two black guys was like, why the fuck are you? The white people were like, why are you arresting them? They're not doing anything. As a matter of fact, the lady who recorded it, or one of the ladies who recorded it, they asked her like, what were they saying, and she said, honestly, I couldn't even hear them. Because they weren't being loud. They weren't being obnoxious. Their voices were low enough that I couldn't even hear what they were saying to each other or the cops.
Yeah.
Like it was that kind of a mellow thing. My point to you is, if you can have a drink and be there for 4 hours, why can't you be there for 4 hours and then have a drink? It's the same exact shit.
I understand. I get it.
I just think that to take a moment like this and not see that there's a little part of us sometimes that does that shit. And even I do it sometimes because I catch myself. I literally do. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'll post this I'll post it on my Twitter. No, I'll post it on Instagram. I was staying in Arlington, Virginia. And there was a black guy, and he was wearing like a weave cap, but he had, I think, like a Louis Vuitton, or it was like a nice satchel, and then his shoes were like fucking just so. You got to see him. My point is, when I saw the guy. And immediately in my head, I wrote a joke and I went, ooh, that guy looks like he could be thug until you look at his fucking shoes. And I wanted to do the joke, but I never posted it because in truth, he never did look thug. I mean, other than a weave cap, everything else on him just looked like a regular fucking person, or like a person that has nice money and is staying at a decent place. There was nothing about him that screamed, oh, look at this nigga, right? Oh, shit, his shoes, sorry. There was nothing like that. It was a joke that I wanted to tell in my head because I saw it, and I had to stop myself and go, dude, don't force a fucking black joke into some shit that's not there just because you want to fucking do a joke that's black. I catch myself doing it sometimes. I get it. I understand it. But to presume that this lady or man, whoever the manager was, didn't have any racial intent or component in it whatsoever is just to say, well, you know what? If you feel that way, ignore it. And I think the whole point of even me bringing it up is to let people know outside of color that there are moments like that you don't even think or feel that you have any racial component to it, but there's some subliminal, subconscious shit in your background. Just catch yourself. Just catch yourself. That's all we're asking for, is just take a moment and fucking see it and go, wait a minute. I know political correctness has gone a little fucking crazy sometimes, and I know people are going to use this one to say, how do you know she's racist? I mean, here's a black guy saying it. I get that. But you know what? We can learn from this instead of just pretending that there is no racial component to it. I know for a fact that if this shit happened to Cisco, he would be saying it's racist. If it happened to him.
Nah. It would all depend on the context.
If you and Gene were hanging out at a Starbucks and they walked up to you guys and said, you guys need to buy something or you need to get out of here,
hey,
you would
that's be their policy, I'd be like, you know what, I totally understand.
At a Starbucks? Yeah, you don't know very much about Starbucks, do you?
No, I don't.
You
but
don't.
I'm just saying, like,
people go to Starbucks. No, listen, stop. People go to Starbucks all the time and just hang out.
Well, that's a weird place to hang out.
People do it all the fucking time.
Okay.
You've never heard people go, let's go have some coffee, let's go hang out at the coffee shop? You've never heard that
they're
shit?
having coffee.
No, a lot of times they don't fucking have coffee. They just hang out.
It's a coffee shop.
I know.
So in my book, you're going to have coffee.
Dude, people go to coffee shops in LA area and write all the fucking time.
Well, I guess I'll find out.
Yeah,
No,
just do homework and shit.
Dude,
I guess I'll find out now that I'm a resident.
Yeah, kids go do their homework over there. Dude, you will see the comedians. As a matter of fact, here's what's going to happen, bro. You're going to get invited to a Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And somebody's going to be like, hey, let's go to Starbucks and we can fucking talk about it and write this thing. And you're going to be like, I don't drink coffee. And they're going to say, oh, you don't have to order anything. And you're going to go there and you're going to be like, oh, shit. You don't fucking have to order anything here. Wow. Yeah, that's what's, so you don't. I don't think you know enough about how people go there all the time and just hang out.
No.
Yeah, they do.
Usually
it's just
when
normal.
I see it in movies or they always have a coffee.
Yeah, you know what? We'll go to a Starbucks by my house and hang out there for 3 hours, and you'll see on the outside. You know the one by my house?
Yeah.
The one off of Luis?
Mm-hmm.
Because that one has like those seats outside.
Yeah.
People go out there and just smoke and hang out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Except in my neighborhood, nobody says shit to us because if you live where I live or around there, you know what I mean? You're not some poor fucking person, so they're not going to look at you like that.
No wonder there's no Starbucks in the hood.
Ironically?
I haven't seen any.
Ironically, bro, the number one selling Starbucks in America, if it's still the case, is in Crenshaw. Wow. It's in the hood. Guess who owns it?
Magic Johnson.
Yep. Yes, it is. That's exactly it, man.
That black guy's magical.
Yeah. Well, listen. Whether it was racist or not, it's not even my point. I guess I wanted to argue the point just because I want people to understand out there that the implicit bias that we talk about is that. You know what I mean? It's that, here's one. It's a story about a black woman who was told that she had to take out her braids because that was like against the policy of wherever she worked, right? Not understanding that if you don't know how difficult it is to maintain a black woman's hair and you don't know like what braiding does and all that kind of stuff, if you don't fucking get it, watch a documentary. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. That was by Chris Rock.
Yeah.
That shows a lot of this stuff. Ironically, a comedian did it. And so that right there is racial insensitivity and not even understanding like, hey, you do understand why a lot of black women braid their hair, right? You do fucking get why they do that. And they just looked at it like, nope, that's ghetto, that's hood. I mean, I don't know if you're old enough to remember when this shit happened to Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Are you?
No.
Do you remember, Bert?
No.
Don't you remember when he had the cornrows?
Yeah.
And all the dudes on ESPN were saying that he's ghetto and he's fucked up and he should take out his cornrows and that he's like making the NBA look bad.
Yeah,
and
he
because
had
of
all
him,
his guys with him, his
right?
entourage
And by the way, it's become part of other leagues. But if I'm not mistaken, the NBA, majority black, was the first league to do this, to tell their players that they had to wear suits when they were going to the games because they didn't want them to look, ghetto. We know what the fuck that was. It's that kind of shit that's like subtle racism. So like, let me get this straight. If I dress like what a black person, like what a Latino thinks is fucking a nice, cool fucking suit, if I show up in my fucking purple suit, that ain't good enough because it's not white enough. That's what it feels like. That's what that shit feels like.
I
right?
understand that.
And that's what this felt like. And it's not fucking overt. It's not in your face. It's just, hey, guys, it's not that you're black. Can you guys just dress nice? Oh, so you want me to dress what you think is nice? Well, let me ask you what you think is nice. Well, I mean, a nice suit with a tie. Oh, shit, you want me to look white nice. No cornrows. That's white. They're not being racist overtly. They might not even know that they're thinking. They might even be thinking, no, I'm just thinking a fucking suit and tie. Well, who the fuck wears suit and ties? I mean, you know what? Let me put it to you this way. All right? I'm going to end the show differently than any other time, okay? Just to prove a point. And there's a joke that Cisco's going to tell. The reason it's funny is because of all the overt shit that we know and keep in our fucking hearts, and it goes exactly to the fucking thing about you got to wear a suit, and it has nothing to do with being black. It has something to do with just looking nice in a suit. So, on behalf of producer Bert and our guests today, Cisco Duran and Carlos Mencia, remember, thank you for the podcast. Hey, by the way, everybody, go to my Facebook page and like it, and if not, go to the YouTube page and subscribe and let everybody know that we're putting content on like crazy. But there is a joke that Cisco tells about a black man in a suit. We're going to end this show on that joke to prove the point about subtle racism, what we think, what we feel, how we look at it, and how that whole black thing in the NBA wasn't just about looking nice.
What do you say to a black man in a three-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise?